The whistle pierced the air like a knife through my chest, and I collapsed onto the turf, gasping, my vision blurring as the entire team froze around me. Coach Harlan's voice cut through the chaos. "Get up, Riley. This isn't over." But his eyes, those piercing blue eyes, locked on mine with something deeper than anger. A flicker of fear that mirrored the secret we'd buried under layers of sweat and stolen glances. In that split second, as blood trickled from my split lip and the crowd's roar turned to stunned silence, I realized our hidden drills had just exploded into the spotlight, shattering everything we thought we could control. It started innocently enough, or at least that's what I told myself in the quiet hours before dawn when doubt crept in like fog off the Hudson. I was 17, a junior at Roosevelt High in upstate New York, where the fall leaves turned the fields into a patchwork of fire and gold, and football was less a game and more a religion. Our town, Elmwood, was the kind of place where everyone knew your business before you did, small, proud, with a main street lined by diners slinging apple pie and high school heroes immortalized on faded banners. I wasn't one of those heroes, not yet. I was Riley Hayes, the scrawny wide receiver with quick feet but a habit of dropping passes under pressure. My dad called me the fixer-upper, half joking, as he nursed his beers on the sagging porch of our double-wide trailer, watching replays of Giants games like they held the key to escaping our dead-end lives. That September afternoon, the air hummed with the first real chill, the kind that bit through your pads and made your breath hang like ghosts. Practice had been brutal, Coach Harlan running us ragged after a sloppy scrimmage where I'd fumbled twice. He was new that year, transferred from some big-shot program down in Texas, all broad shoulders and sun-leathered skin, with a jawline that could cut glass and a voice like gravel wrapped in velvet. At 32, he was young for a head coach, but he commanded the field like he'd been born on it. Whispers in the locker room painted him as a legend, all-state quarterback in his day, a knee injury that derailed his pro dreams, now channeling that fire into molding us misfits into champions. To me, he was just intense. The way he'd bark orders, then soften when he pulled you aside for pointers, his hand lingering a beat too long on your shoulder. "Hayes," he called as we trudged off the field, the sun dipping low and painting everything amber. I froze, cleats sinking into the mud. The team dispersed, laughing and shoving, but I lingered, wiping sweat from my brow. My office. 5 minutes. His office was a cramped trailer hitched behind the bleachers, walls plastered with play diagrams and motivational posters. Pain is temporary, glory is forever. I knocked, heart thudding like I'd been caught sneaking out. He was at his desk, sleeves rolled up, forearms corded with veins from years of lifting. "Sit," he said, not looking up from scribbling notes. I perched on the rickety chair, the scent of his cologne, something woodsy, like pine after rain, mixing with the stale air. "You got potential, kid," he started, finally meeting my eyes, those blues, sharp as a winter sky. "But you're playing scared, hesitant, like you're waiting for the hit instead of delivering it." I shifted, cheeks burning. "I'm trying, coach. It's just pressure." He leaned back, chair creaking. "Pressure's part of it. But I see more. You move like you were born for this. Tell you what, special drills. After hours, just you and me, will sharpen that edge." My pulse spiked. Special drills? It sounded like a lifeline, or maybe a trap. But in Elmwood, saying no to Coach Harlan was like spitting on the flag. "Yeah, okay. When?" "Tonight. 7 sharp. Field house." He flashed a grin, the kind that crinkled his eyes and made my stomach flip in ways I wasn't ready to name. I'd known I was different since middle school, stealing glances at the swim team, heart racing over crushes that stayed buried under flannel and football jerseys. Gay in a town like this? It was a whisper you'd regret voicing. I nodded, mumbling thanks, and bolted before he saw the flush creeping up my neck. That night, under the harsh fluorescence of the field house, it began. He had me running patterns, dodging cones he'd set up like an obstacle course from hell. "Faster, Riley. Anticipate." His shouts echoed off the cinderblock walls, but between reps, he'd demo moves himself, body checking me lightly, hands steadying my hips as I pivoted. Each touch sent sparks skittering across my skin, electric and terrifying. "You're a natural," he said after an hour, both of us panting, shirts clinging. He tossed me a water bottle, our fingers brushing. That brush lingered in my mind all night, replaying as I lay in bed, staring at the water-stained ceiling, the hum of Dad's TV filtering through the thin walls. The drills became routine 3 nights a week after everyone else had gone home. We'd talk, too, in the dim glow of the emergency lights. He opened up about Texas. The dust-choked fields, his old man pushing him till he bled, the injury that left him limping on rainy days. "Football saved me," he confessed one evening, sitting cross-legged on the mat beside me, knees almost touching. "Gave me purpose when nothing else did." I shared bits of my world. The mom who'd bailed when I was 6, Dad's factory shifts that stretched into oblivion, the gnawing fear that I'd peak here in Elmwood, forgotten. "You won't," he said fiercely, hand on my knee now, firm and warm. "You've got fire, Riley. Don't let this town snuff it." That touch ignited something. Our eyes met, and the air thickened, charged like the moment before a storm breaks. I leaned in, or maybe he did, doesn't matter. His lips found mine, tentative at first, then hungry, like we'd both been starving. It was clumsy, desperate, tasting of Gatorade and unspoken wants. We pulled back, breathless, foreheads pressed together. We can't," he whispered, but his arms wrapped around me anyway, holding tight. "We won't tell," I promised, heart soaring and sinking in equal measure. It was our secret, fragile as frost on a windowpane. Weeks blurred into a rhythm of stolen moments. On the field, I transformed, catches that stuck, routes run like lightning. Teammates noticed, slapping my back with, "Whatever Harlan's feeding you, keep it up." Coach played it cool, all business in front of the squad. But in the field house, barriers crumbled. We'd drill till exhaustion claimed us, then collapse into kisses that deepened with each session. Hands exploring shoulders, backs, the safe curves of collarbones. Never further. It was enough, the intimacy of trust, of being seen. He told me stories of college parties where he'd buried his own truths under beer and bravado, dated girls to fit the mold. "I thought it was just a phase," he admitted, tracing patterns on my palm. "Till you make me want to be brave." I felt invincible, like we'd carved out a world just for us amid the chaos of school. Pop quizzes, cafeteria drama, the relentless grind of plays and tests. My grades ticked up. Even Dad grunted approval over dinner, mistaking my glow for gridiron success. "Keep it up, son. College scouts'll come sniffin', but secrets in Elmwood have a way of festering." It started small. A teammate, Jax, catching me slipping into the field house late one Tuesday, brow furrowed but shrugging it off as extra reps. Then the rumors, whispers about Coach favoring me, eyes lingering too long during huddles. I brushed them off, but paranoia gnawed. Harlan felt it too. Our sessions grew shorter, touches rarer, though the pull between us intensified, a magnetic ache. One crisp October Friday, after a crushing win against crosstown rivals, the team threw an impromptu bonfire at Quarry Lake. Elmwood's ritual. Pickup trucks circling the flames, coolers of pilfered beer, girls in Letterman jackets giggling under starry skies. I went to blend in, nursing a soda, laughing at dumb jokes. Harlan showed, playing the affable coach, clapping backs and toasting the QB. Our eyes met across the fire, a silent promise. Meet later, field house. But Jax cornered me by the water's edge, breath sour with cheap brew. "What's with you and Coach, Hayes? Saw you two last week, all huddled up." "Spill." "Drills, man. Extra work." My voice cracked, too high. He smirked, eyes narrowing. "Yeah? Looked cozy. Don't be stupid, Riley. Town like this eats guys like that alive." I shoved past, heart hammering. The night suddenly too close, too loud. Slipped away early, texting Harlan. "Can't tonight. Tired." His reply, "Miss you already. Tomorrow." Tomorrow never came clean. Saturday practice dawned gray, skies threatening snow. Harlan pushed us hard, veins bulging as he diagrammed a new formation. Hayes, you're with me after. Refine that slant. The team grumbled but obeyed. Solo drills turned into our ritual, feints and footwork, his body a familiar anchor. Midway through, as I cut left on a post route, he lunged to mirror the defender, tackling me to the grass in a tangle of limbs. We laughed, rolling apart, but he pinned me a second too long, breath mingling hot and fast. God, Riley, he murmured, lips brushing my ear. I can't stop thinking. A cough shattered it. Jack stood at the field's edge, duffel slung over his shoulder, forgotten gear in hand. His face twisted from shock to disgust in a heartbeat. What the fuck? Time fractured. Harlan sprang up, shoving me behind him like a shield. It's not Jax, listen. But Jax was already backing away, phone in hand, fumbling. You're sick, coach. Both of you. He bolted, tires screeching as his truck peeled out. The whistle scream still echoed in my skull when the principal burst onto the field Monday morning, megaphone in hand, halting drills mid-stride. All players to the gym. Now. Chaos erupted, muttered curses, wide eyes. Harlan's face was ash, jaw clenched as he dismissed us with a nod that screamed finality. In the gym, Principal Vargas, a stern woman with silver-streaked hair and no-nonsense glasses, stood flanked by the school board chair, a rotund man named Mr. Ellis whose kid was our kicker. Allegations have been made, she began, voice slicing the tension. Serious ones, against Coach Harlan, involving inappropriate conduct with a student. Gasps rippled. My stomach plummeted. Jax had talked, told his dad, who told the board. I swiveled to me, accusatory pinpricks. I kept my gaze on the scuffed floor, fists balled till knuckles whitened. Harlan was suspended pending investigation. The rumor mill churned. Predator scandal ruined careers. Elmwood's pride curdled to outrage. Petitions circulated to fire him outright. Parents picketing the school with signs like, "Protect our boys." Dad confronted me that night over meatloaf, his face thunderous. He touch you, Riley? That pervert. No, Dad. It's bullshit. Lies tasted like ash, but truth would have gutted us both. He softened, clapping my shoulder. Good. We're Hayes, we don't bend for trash like that. Alone in my room, I scrolled Harlan's last text. We need to talk. Parking lot, 10 p.m. Please. I went, slipping out the window like old times. His truck idled under the sodium glow of the Walmart lot, exhaust curling like smoke signals. He looked wrecked, stubble shadowing his jaw, eyes red-rimmed. Riley. My name broke on his lips as I climbed in. He pulled me close, trembling. I'm sorry. This is my fault. I should have known better. Don't. I cupped his face, thumbs tracing the lines exhaustion had etched. We didn't hurt anyone. He laughed bitterly. In their eyes, we did. Jax's dad wants my head. Board meeting tomorrow, they'll vote. Then fight. Desperation clawed my throat. Tell them it's lies. His hand covered mine, warm anchor in the storm. Can't. Not without dragging you under. You're a kid with a future, scholarships, college. I won't steal that. You're not a thief. Tears stung, hot and unbidden. You're everything. We kissed then, slow and shattering, pouring regrets and what-ifs into the cab's confines. I love you, he whispered against my skin. The words of vow and a goodbye. The board fired him Tuesday. Elmwood buzzed like a hive kicked. New coach from the JV squad. Practices rote and joyless. I played on autopilot, drops creeping back, scouts scratching my name from lists. Teammates shunned me. Jack sneered in the halls. Freak. Dad watched closer, trust fraying. Harlan vanished, truck gone, trailer empty. A note in my locker, scrawled hasty. Headed south. Keep running toward the light, Riley. You're my champion. Ash. Winter clamped down. Snow blanketing the fields in indifferent white. I ran drills alone, ghosts of his voice urging me on. But the fire dimmed. Letters came, postmarked Austin. Snippets of new life, coaching clinics, a cautious hope. Miss your laugh. Stay strong. Spring thawed the ice, but not the ache. Playoffs loomed. I willed myself through, catches sticking by sheer spite. Dad beamed at the regional win, oblivious to the hollow in my cheers. Graduation neared. Acceptance letter from SUNY Buffalo clutched like a talisman. Escape, fresh starts. One muggy June evening, post-practice haze, I found him at the quarry. Harlan, leaner but still magnetic, leaning on his tailgate, watching fireflies dance. "Heard you killed it," he said, voice rough with disuse. My feet carried me forward, colliding into his arms. "You came back. Couldn't stay away." His hold tightened, world narrowing to heartbeat sync. "Got a job offer here, assistant at the community college. Clean slate." We talked till stars wheeled overhead, fears aired, futures sketched tentative. No more hiding. He'd come out to his family, slow and seismic. "Your turn when you're ready," he said softly. "No rush." I nodded, peace settling like dusk. Elmwood hadn't broken us. It had forged something rarer. Love tempered in trial, humanistic in its quiet defiance. As crickets chorused our unspoken vows, I knew we'd rewrite the playbook, one honest step at a time. Summer unfurled lazy and languid over Elmwood, the kind where humidity clung like a second skin and the river murmured secrets to anyone willing to listen. Graduation had come and gone in a blur of mortarboards tossed skyward and tearful hugs from teachers who'd seen me evolve from awkward freshman to cap and gown contender. Dad swelled with pride at the ceremony, snapping photos on his ancient flip phone, muttering about how I'd make something of myself yet. "Buffalo's got spirit, son. Just like the Bills." I smiled, the weight of half-truths lightening under the sun's relentless gaze. But beneath the pomp, Harlan's return stirred undercurrents. Word spread quick, Coach Harlan, back as an assistant at Hudson Valley Community College, commuting from a rented cabin up in the hills. No fanfare, just a quiet onboarding that had the local paper running a cautious profile. "Prodigal coach returns to roots." I devoured it in the diner's booth, nursing black coffee, tracing his photo with a fingertip. Same grin, softer around the edges. Our quarry reunion stretched into tentative dates. Hikes along the rail trail where blackberries stained our fingers purple, stolen evenings at drive-in reruns of old westerns. His truck bed our private theater. We kept it low-key, boundaries firm, no public handholds, no whispers to friends. "Healing takes time," he'd say, squeezing my knee under diner formica. But in private, the romance bloomed fierce. Lazy mornings tangled in his sheets, the cabin smelling of coffee and pine. His laughter rumbling as I burned toast. "Your trouble, Hayes," he'd tease, pulling me back to bed. Kisses lazy and deep, mapping constellations on my skin with fingertips. It was romantic, yes. Candlelit suppers of grilled trout from the river, playlists of Springsteen crooning about blue-collar dreams, but laced with the drama of our shared scars. Nightmares woke him sometimes, replays of the boardroom crucifixion, and I'd hold him till dawn, whispering, "We're past it." School loomed, a double-edged sword. SUNY Buffalo meant freedom, urban pulse, diverse crowds where being gay was just another Tuesday, but it severed our tether. Long distance. I broached one twilight walk, fireflies winking like conspirators. He stopped, drawing me close, Hudson Valley's silhouette framing us. "If that's what you want. But Riley, you're 18 soon. World's opening up." His words hung, a gentle prod toward independence. I nodded, throat tight, the humanistic pull of growth warring with romantic cling. "I want us, whatever shape that takes." Fall arrived with crisp edges, leaves carpeting campus quads in crimson. I thrived at Buffalo, lit classes dissecting Whitman's raw longings, poli-sci debates that sparked my tongue, a roommate named Tarek who blasted hip-hop and dragged me to queer alliance mixers. There, I tested wings. First pride flag in my dorm window, awkward flirtations at coffee shops that fizzled harmless. But Harlan anchored me, weekly calls stretching hours, care packages of his Maz jerky and dog-eared Vonnegut novels. Vacation breaks were oases. Thanksgiving at his cabin. Turkey charred but edible, us in flannel pajamas, debating football playoffs till we dozed by the fire. "You're glowing," he murmured, nuzzling my neck. "College suits you." It did until it didn't. Midterms crushed me. A C in calc, isolation creeping as friends paired off. One snowy December night, post-final decompression at a campus bar. A guy named Leo slid onto the stool beside me. Artsy type, with tousled curls and a sketchbook perpetually in hand. He sketched caricatures of patrons, his laugh infectious. "You're the football guy, right? Saw your tryout stories on the athletics board." We talked art versus sports, the poetry in a perfect spiral. His knee bumped mine under the bar, intentional, and I didn't pull away. Guilt gnawed later. Harlan's voice on speakerphone that night. "Sounds fun. Live it up, champ." Christmas brought me home. Harlan waiting with a spruce tree and mistletoe mischief. We made love slow under twinkling lights. Not urgent like before, but reverent, bodies sinking like well-worn cleats. "Love you," he breathed post-glow haze. "Love you too." But Leo's texts pinged my phone, innocent at first. "Saw this mural. Reminded me of your intensity." I replied, flattered, the betrayal budding small, a weed in fertile soil. Spring semester ramped tension. Leo and I fell into orbit. Study sessions in the union that veered flirty, late-night diner runs where his hand grazed mine. He was easy, uncomplicated, no baggage of scandals or small-town stares. "You're holding back," he said one rainy afternoon, over falafel wraps, rain sheeting the windows, "like you're waiting for permission to feel." His words pierced, mirror to my fears. Harlan visited once. A weekend of anonymity in my shoebox dorm. Pizza picnics on the quad. His awe at the city's thrum. "This is your world now," he said, pride laced with ache. We made plans for summer, but doubt seeded. His life rooted in Elmwood soil, mine branching wide. The fracture cracked during finals week. Stressed, I ghosted Harlan's calls, drowning in Leo's orbit. A party invite turning into a couch makeout. His lips insistent, hands bold. I pulled back, panic surging. "Can't. I'm seeing someone." Leo shrugged, hurt flickering. "Then tell him goodbye." I drove home that summer, Harlan's cabin a sanctuary. But confession clawed out over creekside beers. "I kissed someone, Leo. It was stupid." His face shuddered, beer forgotten. "Kissed? Or more? Just kissed." Lie by omission, but truth enough to wound. Silence stretched, broken only by water's gurgle. "I get it," he said finally, voice steady but eyes storm-tossed. "You're young, exploring. I won't cage you. Don't say that." I grabbed his hand, desperate. "It was a mistake. I choose you." He pulled away gently. "Choices change, Riley, and that's okay. But trust, that's harder to rebuild." We tried, drills restarted, metaphorical now, running emotional routes to dodge the hurt. Romance flickered, romantic gestures like wildflower bouquets and stargazing dates, but suspense shadowed. Every call from Buffalo a potential goodbye. Fall brought the storm. Leo transferred to Buffalo, coincidence or fate, crashing our orbit. He cornered me at a tailgate, eyes earnest. "Missed you," whatever that was. It felt real. I froze, Harlan's text burning in my pocket. "Game this weekend? Miss my whiteout." Betrayal reversed. My heart split, loyalty a tug of war. The climax hit during homecoming weekend. Elmwood High's field, lights blazing, alumni flooding bleachers. Harlan coached college JV now, but he'd come for the game, us stealing a halftime huddle in the shadows. "Proud of you," he whispered, kiss fierce. Jax was there. Senior now, captain, eyes narrowing as we parted. Later, post-victory roar, he cornered Harlan by the fence. "Still poisoning the well, coach? Thought we ran you out." Harlan stiffened. "Water under the bridge, Jax. Let it go." But Jax's sneer twisted. "Not till Hayes sees you for what you are, a user preying on kids." I overheard, charging in. "Back off. You don't know shit." Jax laughed, cold. "Oh, I know. Saw you too. And now? College boys slumming with the town relic? Pathetic. The punch landed before thought. My fist cracking his jaw, crowd gasping. Chaos. Refs pulling us, Dad hauling me away, Harlan vanishing into the night. Suspension from the team, rumors reigniting like dry tinder. Dad's disappointment crushed. What the hell's gotten into you, boy? Harlan called from a motel, voice wrecked. This is it, Riley. Can't drag you down again. No. Tears choked. Fight with me. But he hung up. Gone by morning. Note on my windshield. Be free. You deserve wings, not weights. Forever yours, H. Devastation hollowed me. Summer dragged. Leo's overtures ignored. Dad's silences deafening. I wrote letters Harlan never answered. Poured pain into journals. Humanistic reflections on love's cost. Identities forge. Fall at Buffalo. I came out, raw assembly speech at the Alliance. Words tumbling like uncorked champagne. Applause thundered. Leo nodded from the back, respect replacing pursuit. Dad visited, awkward but open. Heard about you, proud son. Just be happy. Healing crept, slow as dawn. A year later, spring thaw, an email pinged. Austin Clinic. Assistant coach gig. Saw your game highlights, still got that fire. Coffee sometime? No strings. Harlan. I replied, heart steady. Wings spread, but roots remember. Let's talk. We met in neutral ground. A Manhattan cafe, him tanned and tentative, me broader from weights and time. Talk flowed. His therapy. My lit major epiphanies. Laughter easing old scars. Friends? He ventured, eyes hopeful. More, I said, hand over his. If we build slow. Romance rekindled, deliberate weekends in the city, blending worlds without force. No betrayal's shadow, just two men, flawed and fierce, scripting a love humanistic in its grace. Forgiveness earned, emotions layered like autumn leaves. Elmwood faded to fond memory, but its lessons lingered. Love's drama not in grand gestures, but quiet choices. Suspense resolved in vulnerability's embrace. New York City pulsed around us like a living thing. All honks and neon veins. A far cry from Elmwood's sleepy heartbeat. I transferred credits to NYU for my junior year, chasing urban grit and lit seminars that dissected queerness in American prose. From Baldwin's fire to White's quiet aches. Harlan's Austin job kept him south, but we carved connection from distance. FaceTime dates over Tex-Mex takeout, his cabin now a pied a terre for my visits, flights a small price for stolen weekends. It was romantic, this long-haul dance. Him surprising me with courtside Knicks tickets, me mailing mixtapes of indie folk that echoed our quarry nights. But drama simmered beneath, the kind born of unspoken fears. What if it's not enough? I confessed one humid August evening, sprawled on his cabin floor, fireflies pressing against screens like jealous stars. He traced my jaw, blue eyes steady. Enough is what we make it. We've beaten worse odds. Yet betrayal's ghost lingered. Not from me this time, but fate's cruel twists. Harlan's emails grew sporadic, clinic demands, a new mentee mirroring our old drills. Kids got your spark, he'd write, and jealousy twinged, irrational but sharp. I threw myself into campus life. Poetry slams where my verses on forbidden fields drew snaps, hookups that fizzled into just friends. Leo now a platonic ally sketching our group's zine covers. Dad remarried that fall. A sweet nurse named Carla, her laugh filling our trailer with light. He called weekly, voice gruff but warm. Carla says hi, when you bringing that coach boy around. Progress, humanistic in its bumpiness. His quiet allyship at pride parades, rainbow pin on his Bills cap. Thanksgiving in Elmwood tested waters. Harlan flew up, nervous in chinos, meeting Dad over turkey and tension. Heard you turned my boy around, Dad grunted, carving knife flashing. Harlan nodded, earnest. Just helped him see his own light, sir. By pie. They bonded over gridiron tales, Carla winking at me. He's a keeper. Laughter flowed, emotional dam breaking. Harlan's hand under the table, anchor in the swell. But climax brewed back in the city. Winter quarter, I landed an internship at a lit mag, query letters and coffee runs, thrill of bylines. Harlan visited for New Year's, Times Square crush our chaotic confetti kiss, but his phone buzzed relentless. Work crisis, a star player sidelined. You're drifting, I accused post-ball drop, champagne souring. He sighed, shoulders slumping. It's the job, Riley. Building something stable. Stable or safe? The words lashed, insecurity's whip. We argued rare and raw, him accusing me of clinging to youth's chaos, me firing back about his walls rebuilding. You left once. Don't make me chase ghosts. He stormed out, hotel lobby echoing his steps. Alone, panic clawed. Betrayal not of bodies, but hearts retreating. Days blurred. Texts unanswered. My poems turning anguished. Spilled ink on rejection's sting. Resolution came circuitous. A mutual friend, Tarek now in med school, relayed, Harlan's mentee was just that. A 15-year-old phenom he'd coached pro bono. No shadows. Misread signals, my jealousy a fool's projection. Guilt propelled me south. Greyhound to Austin, heart in throat. I found him at the clinic fields, dusk gilding the turf, him diagramming plays for a gaggle of kids. He spotted me, stride faltering. Riley? What? Needed to see you. Words tumbled. Apologies for doubt. Love's depth undimmed. He pulled me aside. Bleachers are confessional. I froze. He admitted, voice cracking. Scared I'd lose you to the city's pull. But you're my home run, always. We reconciled tear-streaked. Kisses salt-kissed under Texas stars. Romantic renewal. Suspense uncoiling into trust's embrace. Back in NYC, we recalibrated. Bi-weekly visits. Therapy apps bridging gaps. Plans for post-grad convergence. Spring bloomed defiant. I graduated summa. Thesis on queer narratives in American sports lit. Earning nods. Harlan beaming from the crowd via Zoom. His "that's my whiteout" text my trophy. Job offers trickled. Editorial assistant at a Brooklyn press. Promise of bylines on stories that mattered. He proposed subtly that summer. Not ring but ritual. Quarry Lake picnic. Wildflowers woven into a crown. Marry me? Not legally yet, but in our playbook. Tears pricked. Yes, all in. Wedding was intimate. Elmwood backyard. Dad officiating impromptu. Carla baking pies. Jax even showing. Handshake tentative. Water under. Vows exchanged at sunset. Emotional crescendo. In conflict and calm. Betrayal's shadow and light's grace. I choose you. Honeymoon cheap in the Adirondacks. Hikes echoing our drills. Cabin nights where love deepened. Humanistic bonds weaving family from fragments. Dad toasted us, voice thick. To loves that stick. Like a perfect catch. Years spun forward. I wrote our story veiled in fiction. A novel shortlisted for Indie Awards. Romantic suspense wrapped in humanism's hope. Harlan climbed to head coach at a D2 school. Out and proud. Mentoring with open heart. We adopted a rescue mutt named Blitz. Our queer haven in a Brooklyn brownstone. Dad and Carla weekend visitors. Betrayals faded to footnotes. Conflicts to growth's compost. Life's drama persisted. Health scares. Career pivots. But romance endured. Emotional core unyielding. In quiet moments, his hand in mine, I'd whisper, special drills paid off. He'd grin, that crinkle-eyed mischief. Damn right, champ. Damn right. Brooklyn's brownstones stood sentinel against the autumn gales. Their stoops a stage for neighborhood symphonies. Kids on scooters, bodega cats yowling. The distant wail of the F train. Our slice of it. A second-floor walk-up with creaky oak floors and windows framing the East River's sparkle. Felt like victory carved from chaos. 5 years married in spirit, 2 in the eyes of a begrudging state. Harlan and I had built this, me freelancing features on LGBTQ+ trailblazers for mags like Out and The Atlantic, him commuting to his coaching gig upstate, our lives a tapestry of compromise and passion. It was the humanistic heart of us. Not flawless heroes, but men muddling through, romantic gestures peppered amid mundane miracles. Saturday markets for heirloom tomatoes, his Texan drawl haggling vendors. Lazy Sundays with Blitz sprawled across our laps, binging queer cinema classics. Brokebacks ache a mirror turned tender by time. But drama, that old sparring partner, circled back insidious. Harlan's team, the River Hawks, clawed toward playoffs, pressure mounting like storm clouds. He'd come home hollow-eyed, playbooks clutched like lifelines. These kids, he'd vent over stir-fry, chopsticks pausing. They remind me of us, hungry, hiding scars. I'd nod, massaging knots from his shoulders, but envy flickered unbidden. My novel's sequel stalled, rejections piling like unread scripts. The writer's block a betrayal of my own ambition. You're the star now, I tease, masking the sting. Coach of the year buzz? He'd deflect with kisses, woodsy cologne enveloping. You're my MVP. Winter bit hard that year, snow blanketing the city in hush. Dad's health dipped, prostate scare, Carla's voice cracking on calls. He's tough, but come home, Riley. We drove up for Christmas, Elmwood dusted fairy tale white. Dad frail in his recliner but spirits buoyed by grandkid talk. Blitz the honorary. Harlan bonded deeper, swapping war stories, his hand on Dad's knee during chemo chats. We'll tag team this, Tom. Emotional swells crested there. Tears over eggnog, Dad pulling me aside. That man's gold. Don't let life's curveballs fool you. Humanism distilled. Forgiveness bridging generations. Love's quiet rebellion against loss. Back in Brooklyn, tension simmered. Harlan's assistant coach, a slick 28-year-old named Derek, charming, ambitious, with a jaw like Harlan's youth, edged into orbit. Team dinners turned late, texts pinging, strategy sesh running long. Love you, I trusted, but suspense gnawed. Old wounds whispering of stolen drills turned sour. Peaked in March, playoffs fever gripping. A scout weekend. Harlan hosting recruits, Derek tag-teaming charm offensive. I tagged along, upstate motel anonymity our buffer. Dinner at a steakhouse, wine flowing, Derek's laugh too loud. His hand clapping Harlan's back lingering. Jealousy flared, irrational ember. Post-meal, motel bar, Derek cornered me. Harlan's lucky. You ground him. His eyes, amber and intent, held subtext. If you ever need perspective. I laughed it off, but seeds planted. That night, Harlan sensed the shift, our lovemaking urgent, reclaiming. What's eating you? He murmured, post-bliss tangle. Just, Derek. Feels off. He stiffened, pulling the sheet like armor. Off how? He's straight, Riley. Married last summer. The accusation hung, my insecurity laid bare. Not doubting you, just after everything. His sigh deflated us both. Betrayals echo, but we're solid. We weren't not fully. Playoffs crashed. Upset loss to a rival, Harlan's fury volcanic. Blame ricocheted. Refs, execution, Derek's, lax calls. Homeward drive silent, storm brewing. Brooklyn thawed to revelation. A week post-loss, Harlan's phone chirped anonymous. Screenshots, Derek's texts to a teammate, flirty, suggestive, closeted advances. He's outed himself, Harlan said, voice steel. Confronted him, gone by morning. Relief mixed with pity. Derek's wife blindsided, team fracturing. Harlan shouldered it, humanistic grace. Kids lost. Needs help, not hate. But the scandal splashed local news. Coach shakeup amid allegations. Echoing our Elmwood nightmare. Reporters sniffed, my inbox pinging interview requests. No comment. I typed, protective firewall. Climax detonated mid-April, a rainy Tuesday. Harlan called from the road. Board meeting. Want my resignation. Heart seized. Fight it. Like before. Before we had nothing. Now, everything. Can't risk the program, the kids. I drove up unannounced, bursting into the boardroom mid-deliberation. Rain-soaked and fierce. He's the best damn coach you've got. Saved this team. Saved me. Words poured. Our story stripped bare. Not salacious but redemptive. Love's trials forging integrity. Silence blanketed. Then the chairwoman, a no-nonsense ex-athlete, nodded. Sit, Mr. Hayes. Let's hear it all. Hours later, verdict. Harlan retained. Derek's mess contained. Counseling mandated. We drove home dawnlit, his hand in mine. My hero, he whispered, pulling over for a roadside kiss. Rain pattering tentative applause. Summer healed. We vacationed Cape Cod. Beaches for Blitz's zoom eyes. Lobster rolls romantic under sails. My novel surged, climax mirroring ours. Betrayal's sting to redemption's arc. Harlan mentored Derek remotely. Bridge building calls. You're not defined by stumbles. Fall brought balance. Dad's remission party in Elmwood. Barbecue bash. Jack's toasting Harlan. Oh, you won, coach. Carla's pies. Firefly's encore. Emotional full circle. Conflicts resolved. Romances deepened in reflection. We adopted a second furball. A tabby named Scout. Our menagerie complete. Nights, Harlan read my drafts aloud. His gravel voice breathing life. This is us, he'd say. Raw, real. Humanism prevailed. Not utopia, but earned grace. Loves that weather scandals, dramas that birth growth. In Brooklyn's hum, we'd whisper pre-sleep vows. Through every drill, every drop. His reply, eternal. Catch me if I fall. And I always did. A decade dances past in blinks. Brownstone expansions to include a nursery nook. My byline stacking to book deals. Harlan's Riverhawks clinching a conference title that etched his name in regional lore. Brooklyn evolved around us. Hipster influxes gentrifying stoops but not our core. The rooftop garden where basil thrived defiant. Blitz and Scout ruling sun-warmed cushions. Our laughter mingling with skyline sirens. Romance matured, less fireworks and more hearth glow. Anniversaries marked with private toasts. His Texas chili recipe now mine to tweak. Weekend getaways to the Hudson where we'd hike trails echoing youth's drills. Emotional layers thickened. Therapy anniversaries celebrated with gratitude journals. Dad's full recovery a yearly pilgrimage. Carla's grandbabies. From Jax's line. Ironic twist. Toddling at family reunions. Yet drama. Life's insistent director. Scripted fresh acts. My third novel, a semi-autobiographical dive into queer coaching scandals. Hit bestseller whispers. Advance buzz. Agent calls electric. It's bold, she gushed. Raw. They'll eat it up. Harlan beamed over FaceTime. Pride crinkling his eyes. Told you. You're the storyteller. But suspense coiled with launch. Early reviews lauded. Then backlash brewed. Conservative outlets decrying agenda-pushing. Elmwood echoes in op-eds. Glorifies predation. Harlan's inbox flooded. Parent complaints. Bored whispers of optics. Pull it. I half-joked one stormy night. Thunder rumbling like old doubts. He scoffed, pulling me close on our worn sectional. Hell no. It's truth. Our truth. Betrayal struck oblique. Not from us, but the world. Launch party at a Soho bookstore. Champagne flutes clinking amid rainbow banners. Leo there as illustrator. His sketches adorning covers. Adoration swelled. Fans queuing for signs. A teen gushing. Your story gave me courage to come out. Mid-glow, a heckler pierced. Burly man in a faded high school jacket. Jax's echo. This filth ruined lives. Coaches like him pray. Security ushered him out. But venom lingered. Harlan, arrived late from practice. Wrapped me in bear hug. Ignore the noise. You're changing games. Post-party haze, homebound subway, my phone lit. Anonymous email, attached photos, grainy shots from our fieldhouse days, timestamps damning. Exposed. The subject screamed. Sender. Ghost from Elmwood. Grudge nursed long. Panic surged. It's Jax. I whispered, Harlan scanning over my shoulder. Worse. His uncle bored holdover from back then. Petty revenge for the book. Climax cascaded. Media frenzy. Author's past scandal surfaces. Headlines twisting facts into fiction. Harlan's job teetered. Emergency meeting. Parents protesting sidelines with signs reborn. Dad called. Furious. Fight dirty if you have to. Hazes don't fold. We hunkered. Lawyers retained. Public statement drafted. Truth unvarnished. No shame in love's light. Harlan faced the press alone. Upstate podium his stage. Those drills built a man, a marriage, a life. Judge us by now, not then. Suspense peaked at the hearing. Community hall packed, air thick with murmurs. I testified last, voice steady. That boy in the photos? He became this man. Love didn't break us, hiding nearly did. Let this be a bridge, not a barricade. Silence, then applause. Sporadic at first, swelling humanistic. Nods from old teammates, Carla's tears. Even the chairwoman's gavel falling gentle. Cleared. Move forward. Relief crashed like waves, Harlan and I colliding in the parking lot. Rain mingling with sobs. We did it, he gasped, forehead to mine. Always, I echoed, kiss sealing the vow. Aftermath bloomed redemptive. Book sales soared, controversy fuel to dialogue. Podcasts inviting us, panels on queer resilience. Jax reached out, olive branch email. Read it. Sorry for the family BS. Beers. We met, neutral ground diner. Old wounds aired over coffee. Grew up, he admitted. Seeing my kid question things. Your story hit home. Humanism's quiet win. Enemies to allies. Conflicts composted to connection. Years layered softer. Dad passed gentle at 85. Surrounded by us. His eulogy my gift. Words weaving football metaphors with love's playbook. Carla moved nearby. Grandma Judy's to our surprise. IVF journey culminating in twins, boy and girl. Their nursery awash in rainbow mobiles and gridiron mobiles. Parenting drama ensued. Sleepless nights, milestone panics, but romance fortified. Harlan's lullabies gravel soft. My stories bedtime epics. Once upon a drill, I'd begin their giggles chorus. At 50, Harlan retired coaching, pivoting to youth advocacy. Camps for LGBTQ+ athletes. Safe plays, curriculum rippling nationwide. I lectured. Memoir sequel in works. Beyond the Whistle. Elmwood revisited for a library reading. Full Circle. Kids wide-eyed. Quarry Lake post-event our reflection pool. Think we'd change anything? Harlan mused, arm around me. Stars pricking velvet sky. Nah, I said, leaning in. Every drop, every betrayal, led here. His kiss, enduring, perfect catch. In that humanistic coda, drama yields to peace. Emotions ebbing to steady glow. Romance a well-worn path. Life's suspense resolved in love's unyielding grip. We ran on, drills eternal, champions still.